Greetings. Just a little bit of a technical disclaimer on this one. We had some technical problems on Erik's end with his webcam, and we did this podcast using his cell phone. You will see the result of that. So my apologies in advance for the majority of it just showing the top of Erik's face. But I don't think it affected any of the content. It was still great, and great to have him on there. And as usual, he is completely entertaining, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it. Do I hear Erik Paulson?
Yep.
There he is. Microphone is off, Erik. Say something, Alan, and let me see if it switches to you.
Testing.
Okay, Mr. Hand. Okay.
There he is.
Okay.
Okay.
You got it?
It's working now.
This is my cell phone.
Really?
Yeah.
What's wrong with the iMac?
I tried to type it into the computer. It didn't work.
Oh, you were trying to type that link?
Yeah.
Oh, no way. Do you want me to email it to you?
No.
Should just
No,
be
I'll just do this.
Okay. Should
I'm
just.
going to sit here.
It sounds pretty good.
How's this?
Yeah, that's cool. You can prop it up on a. Uh-oh. What's that?
How's that? Is that good? Yep. Here. What if I do this? All right, ready?
Can I use this?
How about this? What? What's up? How's that? Is it good? Yeah, it's good sunlight on my face.
Sorta.
Here. Hang on.
You're getting this? This is great. Gotta hit record.
I thought the coffee run was bad.
All right. Screw it. There we go. How's that?
That's better.
Woo!
Welcome back, Erik Paulson.
Hey, thanks.
Erik, is there any way you can tilt the phone down just a little bit so I can see your mouth? There you go.
Oh, you can't see what I see?
There you are. Now I got you. That's good right there if you can hold that.
Okay.
Everybody gets to see our production meeting.
Can you see me?
I can see you. That's good right there if you can hold that.
This. What do you see now?
No.
Is that bad?
No, that's bad. That's bad.
Oh.
There you
better?
go. There you are.
Here. How about that?
So, I have a couple of things I want to go over with you. Do you have anything you want to go over first? You have anything you want to say to the guys or anything pressing?
Know that we are working hard and trying to get things running smoothly. We're getting ready for the camp and camps this year. I've been training hard, lifting and dieting and running and rolling for possibly something that might be upcoming in April. We'll see. And also getting excited been writing every day, writing 2 books, or not books, booklets, one on how to raise your vibrational frequency, and the other one is on the MMA, the CSW MMA curriculum.
Awesome.
Perfect, because that was one of the things I was going to ask you about, is the MMA curriculum.
We also just put together a compilation of old films that we filmed for the self-defense series, and it's actually put together, and we just have to put the titles with it, and then it'll be ready for release, along with the new helicopter DVD.
Yeah, the helicopters are ready. I'm going to release the downloads this week, download version, and then when the covers come in, we'll have the DVD version. All the chapters are set up, so the download one is already ready to go. And on that, I think I told you this a little earlier, a new feature. I just released the arm bars for download today. A new feature to make it a little better.
Good.
Oh, cool, thanks. Is I changed the meta tags for the clips, so if you import them into iTunes, it has its own genre, so it's a genre that'll sort it as martial arts training. It'll sort it by your name, and it has the proper titles, so you don't have to do any sorting in iTunes. When you pull it into your iTunes library, it'll sort by itself. So all the future releases for the CSW stuff will just go into a martial arts training category. It'll be really easy to sort.
That makes it easier for guys to put on their phones.
Oh, yeah.
And the armbar DVDs was a great sequence of arm lock attacks. A lot of people don't even know that. They haven't seen it, or they see little snippets, but they don't really know that it's a very diverse series of attacks and grip breaks, and it's a really good DVD set.
Yeah, it's good. You got a lot of live goes in there as well. So you show it, and then you really do it. A couple of them are really some really big dudes too. Sneaky stuff. It's awesome.
That's the best part, is this guy was fresh out of prison, and all he did is lift the weights every day. So he said, "Hey, I want to start training with you," and he was training with Hickson at that time. And so I said, "Okay." Whoa! I go, "Come on in. If you could come in." Sorry. If you could come in. You still got me?
I still got you.
If you could come in and roll, that'd be great. Let me just see if I can arm lock you. Okay. And his arms were so big, it took my whole body to do it, but that's proof that it works, though.
Do me a favor, Eric, tilt your phone down a little bit. I'm just seeing your nose. There you go. A little bit more, if you can do it without it falling over.
How's that?
That's better. Now you're better.
Is it better?
Yeah, you're more in frame now.
I hope there's no breeze, because I'm outside.
This is classic Erik Paulson anyway. It's awesome.
Well, I tried to do it on the computer, but it wouldn't go through, so.
I don't think anybody cares. It's fine. We just want you in here. Awesome. You have any questions for Erik today, Alan? I have more, but I want to give you a shot at it.
Well, we mentioned asking about class flow and the pace of a standard class. I think that was one of the questions.
Correct. Yeah.
As far as class flow goes,
well, for me, I wanted to know there's a real method to when you show something, when you show a technique. How many times do you show it? What's a really efficient way to do it? How many variations do you show? And then how long do you let the guys go before you call them back up? Because I know you know how to read a room when it's getting stale. So what's your formula to that? Do you have one, or is it just reading the room?
Yeah. Depends. Like, if you want to really super teach something, if you want to really teach it, then you show the technique. You demo the technique, you explain the technique, and then you ask people about the technique so they answer to make sure that they're paying attention. I demand that everyone comes in close for grappling. There's nothing worse than teaching grappling and having guys sitting out the distance. I go, you guys aren't even interested in being here. Why don't you guys just leave? Or why don't you guys just go hit a heavy bag or something? Because you're not interested in learning grappling. Because if you were, you wouldn't be 15 to 20 feet away from me. You'd actually get close. So you got to pull guys in close for that. For striking, it's different because you could see from farther away, unless you're doing some intricate detail of something and showing how to really, move your head and slip. So calling people in is very important. When you demo with somebody who is good at doing what you're telling them to do. It doesn't resist you, and also is listening to your commands. That's important. When you demo, I believe it's important that you demo up to 3 things total, no more than 3. So if you're going to demo 1, here's a series of 1, 2, and 3. So you have to teach it first off in the beginning, and then you teach another technique 1, then you teach technique 2, then you teach technique 3 before you combine them and recall them, and then mix up the numbers, and then mix up the partners to create a different energy field. And also you could do it as quick drills. We call it quick drills, where you teach 1, you teach 2, you teach 3, up to 5 or 7, and then you make them run the room. And as they're running the room, you clap your hands, boom, and they grab a partner and they do number 1. Then they do number 2. Then they go through the whole thing, and then they mix and match. So that's one way to really teach and stir things up. And while you're adding some cardio to the mix, the quick drills. Higgin found that he was having more success teaching with the quick drills than he was with guys just coming in and doing a few techniques and then rolling hard. Less injuries. These guys are getting in shape for competition. He was having just as much success with these guys doing it that way than he was the other way.
It sounds like a way to keep them focused on curriculum, too, that way.
Yep. I think it just helps teach a little bit better. And the thing is, everything should be grouped together. So, like yesterday, the entire class was on the double top wrist lock, was on the chicken wing. And it was on your standing entries. When you attack, when somebody takes your back, ducks under and takes your back, how to rip the arm out, and then how to take them down. Once they're on the ground, you have the lock, and then your objective is to crank it with a leg trapped, and then take your legs off the guy's leg and then bridge over the top and go back into it. Or they push into you and you have to go the opposite way, then you head down and hit back over. So you show a few variations based on the energy that the person feeds you. That way it's more of a responsive technique and more applicable for situations. As far as teaching a bunch of stuff, as I said, I think a total of 3 at a time, like series of 3, it's just easier to remember. Obviously, if it's a series of 6 or 5 or 6, don't show more than 3 at a time because it confuses people.
Do you let them go for rounds? Do you say when you show them 3 techniques? Do you say, okay, here's 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or does it depend on the technique?
Each depends on the people and how many times, because some people sit and go slow and enjoy the class. So, I mean, are you really forcing it down their throat? Because if you're really forcing it, some guys are talking and not paying attention, and they're not drilling it as much. And then you get a couple guys that will do it twice, and then they'll just sit there and watch.
How do you handle that?
Well, I just say, you guys got it? Because you only did it twice. I don't think you have it. 17's kind of that number, 17. So if you could do it like 17 times, you kind of remember it. And another thing is, some people, remember there's 3 ways to learn. Do it, see it, and feel it. So some guys have to watch it. Like they'll watch it be done, and then they'll practice it and do it on their partner. And some guys go, hey, let me feel that. And then other guys, after they do it, will sit there and watch other people do it so they can actually kind of get it that way. So it's just a different way of people learning sometimes. But if they only do it one time and then they just sit there and wait for the next thing, then they're not really interested. They're just going through the motions, getting ready to just waiting so they can roll. So they're not really even interested to learn from me anyways.
So if someone comes in and they're not focused like that, and you've walked over and you said something, let's say you got a problem child like that. Like you got a guy who do you dismiss him from class, or like you said before, do you just make him go hit a heavy bag?
I reprimand him again. I walk over and say something to him again, and then I'll actually sit down and say a couple things, and then if they'd still do it, then I go, you know what, this class isn't for you. Why don't you wait till the end? If you're going to wait to roll, then you can just roll, because you're not here to learn. And some people aren't there to learn. They're just there to grapple, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just some people are my favorite's when you're teaching technique and they go, hey, we're going to roll today. I'm like, well, rolling's actually a privilege, not a right. So, but yeah, we roll every day, of course. Of course we roll every day. But it may be a half hour, maybe 45 minutes, and it may be only 15 minutes. It could be only 5 minutes. You could have 5 1-minute rounds, which actually makes people just as tired as rolling for 15 3 5-minute rounds. Mm-hmm. So just a different approach to the way you're making them. Like if you want people to get comfortable and to play, you give them on the average at least a 5 to 7-minute round.
Okay.
If you want to start pressing the pace, you do 3-minute rounds. And if you really want to make people attack, you give them 1-minute rounds. Like 5 1-minute rounds. Makes people hyperly aggressive.
And then you make them rotate partners each 1 minute, like a interval?
Yes.
Oh, that's nice. What about talkers? Do you allow in one of your typical classes? Do you allow? Because I know, especially after work, a lot of people like to run their mouths during class. How do you handle that?
If the teacher's talking and they're talking, I actually call out their name. And if they want to continue to talk, I just wait. I stop and just wait for them to continue talking and let everyone turn around and watch. Because actually, they're impeding everyone's learning process, not just being rude and talking when you're talking. But, you know, like if somebody makes a remark to somebody or elbows them and says something, the guy says something back, you know, that's typical or normal. But if a guy's like, you know, sitting there whispering the whole time you're talking and teaching, where are their eyes? Are their eyes still on you, or are they looking off? And if two guys are just over there having a conversation, I'll just go, hey, guys, go on the side of the floor. Go have your conversation in the other room, please. Because there's so many people that are there to learn. It's like the only way to not be rude, you know, lead by example. You know, and I let people talk quietly on the sides of the mats, but
not actively in the class, right?
If someone's on the, what's that?
Not if they're actively in the class, right?
No. If like their class is over and there's another class going on, I let them talk softly on the sides of the mats. But I make sure that they know that they have to keep their voice down and not talk too loud or be belligerent or loud when another class is going on, because then the people in the other class have a hard time paying attention. Because you got to figure you got the boxing ring going on, you got the cage going on, then you got someone on the floor teaching, and then you got someone in the back room listening to Lionel massage the crap out of their leg, and those people are screaming, and it's echoing off the walls. And some people get terror. They're like, "What is that?" And I go, "I think it's two cats having sex." Sometimes it sounds pretty bad. We had one guy that was screaming so loud. I actually audio taped him. I'll find the audio. I'll send it to you.
Yeah,
you gotta hear it. It's funny.
I think I remember who that was. Do you remember who that was? I know who that was. What's that?
No, there was two people that really, really yelled the loudest I've ever heard.
I think Enzo was the best one I've ever heard.
So I have him. And then we have another guy, Oliver. Oliver was... Anytime you have to yell that loud, I don't think it's actually helping you. I think, it's like sitting on a hot poker from the oven or from the fireplace. It's like sitting on one of those. It's about as beneficial as that.
Oh man. Well,
last thing you need is a seared butthole. You know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't. So back to class, though. Back to class. So on the running the class thing and the tempo. So that was the running the class tempo. What about a test? what's your tempo? So for an affiliate, let's say one of our affiliates is going to run a test. How long would you typically say per student who is testing? How long should the test go? How many items are typically on a test that you're going to run before it goes too long? Is it 10 techniques? Are you
talking about levels 1 to 5 or 6 to 10?
Any student level test, no matter what system we're doing. If you're going to run a test,
so you got to run through the curriculum. So you got to show it. You got to have them demo it to you, and then you're moving on because there's so much stuff. But they have to prove that they know the technique.
Okay, so is there any specific thing you're looking for when some like? So I know when Ajahn Chai does his thing, he'll make you do an elbow, he'll make you do a knee, that kind of thing. Do you call it out like that, or do you just say, "Show me this," and if they show it once, they have it, we move on?
I'll say, "Show it to me," and then sometimes if they don't quite know it, then I demo it. I mean, they're still learning. I've only had a few guys that mastered everything. I mean, everyone's still learning. And there's like little teeny details, the small details that actually make, that's why you want a quality instructor there correcting these people. Even on the armbar, if their thumb is facing up instead of down, the thumb position for the armbar so they don't hitchhike escape is very important. Their knee, are they squeezing their knees tight, or are they loose at their legs? Are they trying to break the arm over the bottom hip, or are they trying to use their pubic bone, or is it the top hip? Things like that. Where's the elbow placement on the chicken wing? Is it high, or are they trying to bring the wrist behind the back? On the V arm lock, do they slide their chest to the guy's stomach? Do they slide it to the stomach, or do they keep chest to chest and try to lift it so the guy can bridge escape? Small little details make a huge difference. When they're doing a wrist lock, do they control the elbow, or do they let the elbow move? Because if they don't, then the lock doesn't go on. So the minor details, that's why like sometimes I'll say, well, where's the fulcrum? Where's the power? Where's the leverage factor from this? What's the key on the chicken wing? What's the key on the V-arm lock? What's the key on the straight arm bar here? The inverted straight arm bar? What's the key on the wrist lock? What's the key on the ankle lock, the heel hook, the toe hold, the knee bar? On the choke, what kind of choke are you doing? Is it a short choke, or is it a big choke? Or is it a shoulder triangle? And what part of the arm are you using to finish the triangle? And what's the most important thing about the choke? What's the most important thing when you're choking somebody? And that's that you want to know how much money they have in their pockets, so when they pass out, you can see what you can buy when they're out cold.
You know the thing when I was talking about reading the room?
Yeah.
He just did it.
The biggest thing on the choke is patience. So a lot of guys treat a choke as an actual submission. So they put it on and they hold it, and the guy's not going out, and they let it go. And I'm like, man, if you had 3 more seconds and was patient and not greedy, you would have finished the lock. You would have finished the asphyxiation. Because you let it go, the guy got out. So like patience. And that just comes with in due time, I think. I think patience comes in due time, just that people are more patient. Well, it's true. I mean, you get a young kid that wants to grapple, sometimes he's not patient, and he tries to grab stuff and rip it, and when he gets a choke, he just has it and lets it go right away, because he thinks that, oh man, I didn't have it on right. But it actually was, you just needed to hold it longer.
So for an affiliate, if you were going to train a guy to give a test like this, which we are going to do, it sounds like there's basically 2 levels of things. There's the knowing what the movement is, and basically at a basic level, this is what it's called. This is how to apply whatever technique it is, or perform whatever technique it is. And then this is the next level would be the finesse part of it, the details, really knowing all the details about it.
Okay, so proper technique, where your body weight's distributed, where the fulcrum is, how to finish it, and then also timing, when to catch it, when you try to catch it. Are you catching it when they make a mistake, or are you actually able to attack it right from the get-go? What if they're completely strong and full of a set of lungs full of air, Are you still able to submit them with that when they still are full of piss and vinegar? And then another thing is application when you're actually rolling, actually being able to use it when you're rolling. So like sometimes you'll give them like what we'll do is isolate. I go, okay, we're gonna go back and forth. We're gonna jog our memories to see how many different versions of the Kimura or chicken wing that we work on, double top wrist lock. Okay, next V-arm locks. How many V-arm locks do you guys know? Okay, straight arm bars. How many straight arm bars? Okay, ankle locks. Only Achilles locks. How many different versions? How many different knee bars? How many different toe holds? How many different heel hooks? How many different neck cranks? How many different chokes? And then when they do that, I'll go, okay, we're going to roll. As you're rolling, now you guys only can arm lock each other. That's how you become a submission specialist, because you have to isolate only one thing. You're trying to, like, okay, right now we're going to go back and forth. I can only arm lock you. I can't do anything else. Okay, you can only choke, and you're only allowed leg locks. Go. Okay, you're allowed only positioning, and you can submit him any way you want. So now you give these guys games, and what it does is it help them develop ways to utilize all the different tools that you have in grappling, like body position, control, maybe only reversals or get outs. That's a good one. Get outs is a tough one. Put a guy in a bad spot and let him get out as many times as he can in a certain amount of minutes.
So that's back to class flow.
The ability to control somebody. Okay, now this guy's going to hold Keisagatami. Let's see how many times you can get out. What was that? That noise? It sounded like somebody dropped some glass.
Was that you, Alan?
Somebody just walked in the front door.
Oh.
You better see, they make sure they didn't kick the window in by accident.
Thanks,
Alan. How's the new school?
Actually, it's really going great.
How far are you from the old school?
We're right across the street. We're kind of behind. We're off the road a little bit, but the feeling of the new building's much better.
Wow.
The energy of it's fantastic. We've really got a lot of good feedback. And
That's good.
We've been able to expand the curriculum. Kids program's growing. It's been a good change. I'm happy with it.
It looks like you got a lot of certificates there on your wall behind you. It looks like you got some more.
Just to cover the holes in the wall. A lot of objects thrown toward the guy in charge. So.
Well, so people you should get one of those Velcro dart boards behind you.
Oh yeah, that would be appropriate.
Velcro would just so it doesn't poke an eye out or something like that.
They say the buck stops here, but sometimes it misses. So.
Yeah. Wow.
Hey, Alan, tell them about your the layout of your school with the you got the coffee thing in there, and then the 3 mat areas and the bag rack.
Yeah, we got 3 training areas. One is the main adult area, and then we wanted to have a fitness program, so we had this huge bag rack built, big enough to hang bags around it, and there's a classroom in the middle. And we're doing fitness, kickboxing classes, kettlebell classes. We're getting ready to put a joint opening, stretching class on the schedule.
Wow.
And then we built one floor just for the kids because we wanted to start having kids program later in the evening.
Well, so that's good.
Yeah, it's going good. It's starting to grow.
Also by putting letting the kids have their own room, it's good because you could quarantine the measles.
That's right.
Only to one certain area.
Yeah.
Measles right now in California is crazy.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. It's just it's becoming an epidemic for kids.
Yeah, that's a vaccination.
Fortunately, I've got staff to handle that.
Oh, that was so bad. That was such a bad joke.
I don't know if they're infected or not, but it's now their job. I put in my 20 years. They can teach them now.
Well, are the measles? Is there an epidemic there going on in Atlanta or in Maryland at all?
There have been some cases, but it's probably not as bad. But I have heard them talking about it locally. that there's been a few cases going around.
Nah,
Wow.
just what I hear on the news. I haven't encountered anybody with it. I'll ask Steve tonight. He's a school teacher. See if he's running into any of that. So, well, those are the major things I wanted to hit on. But, Alan, how about a little bit of let's fill Erik in on a little bit of news on what's going on with the association. And the guys will probably want to hear some of that as well.
Well, we spoke about the conference coming up, April 9th through the 12th. Every year it gets bigger. We're right now trying to get the schedule nailed down with all the instructors and have that out hopefully in the next week or two. But it's going to be a big event.
We pushed the dates forward on that. It used to be at the end of April, early May. So we pushed it, 3 weeks ahead, right?
Yeah, beginning of April now.
Yep.
Wow.
Then the coach development camps.
Well, does our camp coincide with Sifu Fang's camp this year, or Guru Dan's?
We tried to avoid everybody. There was a lot of events on the schedule, taking everyone into consideration. So I spoke to everybody when we were trying to put the dates down and tried to schedule it as best we could.
It used to bump up against the C-Lot camp, I think. I think this is actually better. I think these dates are better.
I think that was against also Sifu Fang's was like the same weekend or a weekend after.
Speaking of Sifu Fang, what about that, Alan?
Yeah, how is he doing with this? He got surgery, right?
Yes, actually, it turned out really good, better than the doc expected. They were expecting months on recovery, but it's turned out to be weeks.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so it's great news.
He had shoulder surgery?
Yes. Well, I'm actually expecting a visit from him tomorrow at the school.
Wow.
He's going to come take a look at the new place.
Sweet.
That's great. You guys don't have that air conditioning unit that scares the shit out of everybody still, do you?
No, we got rid of that.
What was that? Yeah. I'm not in on that one.
That was scary.
It was those sock ducts instead of a metal duct, so when the air came on, they inflated, and it would pop.
They explode. They pop really loud.
Yeah, so if you were the new guy, it was pretty evident when they went off.
Every time they go off, I put my head down and just start shadow boxing and milling. He had a couple ex-Marines with PTSD. Those things would go off, and they'd hit the ground and cover their heads. Pretty bad.
Yeah, they made some noise.
Yeah, it was loud.
Builds character.
Scary.
Helps you remember the place.
That's right. That's true.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna try to do a weekly podcast with Sensei Erik. Get him on here on a more regular basis, and then also do a public component to this. And I'm also going to set up an iTunes feed, so there'll be something people can subscribe to, the audio version, so they can just get these in a feed as we release them. They'll just show up on their phones. Because I think we have lots of stuff to talk about, and we have a gold mine of info on the other end here. So I think it's time for Erik to have his own feed come out. Wouldn't you agree with that?
It'd be cool. I got some next time I want to ask some questions about the new MMA program. We'll need a whole podcast for that. So.
Yeah, that's a whole show.
We also had this last weekend. We had Cheyenne. She competed. She beat two really good jiu-jitsu girls. We had Victor Henry fought in Japan on Saturday and beat a really great wrestler. The guy's only been submitted one time before. And Victor hit a dive roll knee bar. The guy took his back and hit like a Victor Nagi without the overhook. Dive roll knee bar and finished the guy with a heel hook / knee bar on the end of it. In the third round, it was a tough fight. 3 5-minute rounds. So he won. Him and Shohei and Colleen apparently are going to be going professional this year, and they're going to be fighting in Pancrase in Japan. They're getting contracts with Pancrase. Ben Jones is fighting in Bellator during our camp, so a lot of the guys could actually go watch his fight.
Oh, awesome! I didn't know that.
His fight might actually be in the daytime, the same time the camp is going on. So let's see. We also had went to the Gracie Nationals. I saw Gary Tonin versus Javi Vasquez. It was a 10-minute match. Javi avoided all the leg attacks, and then in the end, in about 10 minutes, he got triangled by Gary Tonin. It was a sweet match. Saw Eddie Bravo there. He had a lot of his guys compete. I had a couple guys compete. I have one of our grapplers is from Sweden. He trains with Omar Buish from the Pancrase School there. And he competed. He doesn't have a belt, but he competed in the brown belt division. He's big. He looks, well, Eddie walked up and said he looked like Will Ferrell. So, but he doesn't. He's kind of got curly hair and blonde. He looks like Dolph Lundgren's spawn. And anyway, so he competed in the brown belt heavyweight division and beat everybody. So it was kind of nice. That was nice. And it was at the Fit Expo. So the Fit Expo was completely packed because the Grammys were going on the same night.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that's it. That's the whirlwind.
The whirlwind. Yeah, I saw some of that stuff on Facebook, on your Facebook page, all those pictures. I didn't even know you were going to that.
Yeah, I didn't either. Tanya's birthday is tomorrow.
Yes. The Queen.
She'll be 36.
She loves you for that.
And yeah, I'm sure we have this weekend off. I was supposed to be in Australia, but unfortunately the tickets were a lot of money, so we ended up not going. Whoa.
Iris.
Yeah.
We're podcasting.
Yeah, it's that time of day at AMAC.
People coming in?
Yeah.
That's
Kids
okay.
are starting to come in.
No problem.
Anyways, so lots of guys competing. I'm gonna have Higgin out, and then maybe this week come in for the advanced guys and do some good stuff. And then we also have Mario. He'll come in and do some boxing. I've got Craig and Bruce. They're going to shoot a striking DVD.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's really been working his striking. So his boxing, when Bruce pads Craig, he's got some really great drills he does with them, and Craig's kickboxing looks really good and sharp. So I told him that I would like to do like another half-hour CSW striking video with him, and he's got some great holds, pad holds that he does that he got from Mario, and also holding for Cheyenne, how he trains her. It's pretty good. She's been really successful lately. I think she just made it into what was the magazine she was in? Was it? It wasn't Time. What was Life magazine? I don't know what magazine she made it.
Really?
Yes. Yep. And it's Craig and Bruce holding for her, so it's really good.
Wow,
she's doing great.
That. That's awesome. Yeah, that kid's been around for a while now. She's working really hard for a long time. She's cleaning up.
So has some of these amateurs I've got that are actually turning pro. Little Jake Rosales already has 3 amateur belts, and this year he's going to be turning pro. And so is Shohei. He'll be turning pro this year. It's kind of nice to see these amateurs finally, getting their fights in, doing well, and then all of a sudden, going to the next level.
That's awesome. And before we run out, I wanted to throw props to you in CSW and the 8711 guys. I just watched I was telling you this earlier, I just watched the special features on John Wick. And I saw Chad Stahelski, the director. It was cool. He had a pair of CSW shorts on, and we could definitely see some Paulson influence there on a lot of those techniques. And obviously you guys...
was my coach.
Yeah, you guys were all the STX guys.
Yeah, he was my coach.
Yeah, it was so cool. It was basically like looking... Jonathan Eusebio was there, Dave Leach, Chad Stahelski. It was so cool to see the...
Dave Leach and Chad were both my training partners, so that was pretty cool to see that they're going to start using a lot more Japanese-style jiu-jitsu and judo in all of Keanu's movies. All the stuff that we choreographed for Jason Statham, I believe, is going to go to Keanu instead. And Keanu's going to be doing more of those style movies now with more throwing and nerve point hitting and wrist lock breaks and some really cool, mean stuff.
Are you working with those guys? Are you over there with 8711 doing any stuff with those guys?
I sent little Erik Brown over there. He's working on a Bollywood movie right now, which is actually, what was the movie with the two brothers that fought each other, the MMA movie?
Warrior, right?
Warrior, yeah. That's a remake. They're making a Bollywood Indian movie remake of that right now. And Erik Brown is actually in charge of the fight choreography.
That's
so
great.
He's over there. He's in India right now. And then I'm working. I helped that girl from John Wick. I did a lot of the choreography. She came. The stunt guys came to my school. We put a bunch of fight scenes together that she could use for the movie.
Nice. Is it the assassin girl? The girl who was trying to... I won't give anything away, but that girl?
Yes.
That's awesome. I just watched it, so it's fresh.
Joe.
What was that?
She's the girl from G.I. Joe.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Remember G.I. Joe? You never saw the last G.I. Joe?
No, I haven't seen any of them.
How dare you?
You look shocked.
G.I. Joe.
I think he's going to hang up on me.
You guys know we got a lot of good stuff getting ready for the camp. I'm going to plan on changing a little bit more this year, maybe to help people learn how to hold pads more for each other.
Awesome.
And let some of the guys be more interactive with some of their theories and thoughts, because a lot of these guys have successful schools and competitors, and I've been putting a ton of time into our grappling program, so we've got a lot of guys competing in that, and I think that's kind of, if you're not going to fight, you should compete in grappling, and if you're done fighting, you should compete in grappling, and I think there's a good future in that, because there's tons of events going on, and it's fun. I've actually been able to go to 3 tournaments so far this year, and it's been kind of cool to see all these people that I hadn't seen for a long time.
Well, we forgot to mention, speaking of the camp, that the 2-day event before the camp, Phil Norman will be out there again.
A lot of people are talking about that. They asked me what I thought, and I said, well, the epitome of boxing is hitting without getting hit. And if you value your face, you value the way your face looks, then you'd probably want to try to learn that stuff that Phil teaches, because it teaches you how to hit without getting hit.
Yeah, I really like the Ghost stuff. And shameless promo on the CSW 2014 camp DVDs and downloads, there's over 2 hours worth of Phil's Ghost material on there, the stuff he taught at the last camp. But you really should be there at the camp to experience that in person, because you can look at it, but it's just like all the other stuff we do. If you're not really there seeing it live and feeling it live, it's not the same thing.
Every year we add, so like, not just add, but like Greg's traveling all over, so he's learning new stuff and refining what he knows, and then it'll be interesting to see how this camp will be different, even with some of the same people, but how the approach goes as opposed to the last camps also.
Love them. I won't miss them. Love those camps. And I do have some more promos I'll be putting out, some messages from Greg and a couple of the other guys that we shot for the last one. They're coming out in the next few days. So to be continued. But thanks for spending an hour with us, Erik. We appreciate it. It's always good when we get to hang out with you.
Yeah, that's fun.
So
I'll be working on some of the I've got some really good new material for my jokes, so I'm working on that, and I'll actually be able to use some of that in the next one.
Awesome.
All right, guys.
All right, sir.
Adios. I'll see you guys shortly. You guys take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening, guys. See ya.
See you later.
Bye.
Okay, so we're done recording, but I still see you. You still there?
See me?
You still there? We're just getting your audio now.
You can't see me.
No.
Hey, Gormy, are you still there? I'm going to beat the shit out of you so bad you have no idea. No idea.
Can I use that?
I want to make a ringtone out of that for my cell phone. You got to send that to me.
Cormier, you still there? You still there? Listen. All right. See you guys later.
See you later, sir.
You guys can't see me, right?
No, it's like a circle bouncing in the middle of the screen.
Try to do all you
Ruh-roh.
do all you could to get back in there.
You still with us?
Right.
We had a little.
Right.
Was that you,
Yeah.
Alan, or was that Eric?
I think it was Coach.
Oh, okay.
What did I do?
Absolutely nothing wrong.
I have a hummingbird playing with looks like a sparrow or something. We got a bird feeder out back and a hummingbird feeder and a bird bath right next to each other, and my entire backyard's full of birds. Pretty cool. Jiggy goes after him. It's pretty cool though. Finally, nature at its best. We're getting a hot tub. Hopefully we'll have that by the time you guys get here.
Ooh.
Now you're talking.
That's cool.
I'm gonna fill it with champagne. That way when you get in there you can heat it up and drink it.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Okay, Eric.
All right.
Thanks again.
Have a
man.
good one.
Adios, muchachos.
See you later.
Bye, guys. Thank
Bye
you.
con Dios.
Thank you.
Eric's still here.
Yeah.
Hold on. Oh, not anymore. Bye, guys.
All right, Mr. Baker. Do you have any final words? Anything else to close up with that you want to say to the guys? And we'll call it a day. This was a fun one.
Don't miss the next one because I'm going to ask Coach a lot of cool questions about this upcoming MMA program that's going to be coming out this year. And I've heard a few things about it. It's going to be great. So it'll be your opportunity to find out all the surprises that's going to be in the box.
Perfect. Have a good evening, my friend. My guys are showing
All
up
right.
now as well.
All right. I'll talk to you probably tomorrow morning.
I've got to go get punched in the face now, so I'll talk to you later.
Okay. All right, man. Bye-bye.
Bye.